And we're live, boys! That's right! We are streaming who knows where because we just found out that we need more followers on Facebook. So if you are watching this right now, go immediately to our page on Facebook and follow it. Because if you don't, we won't be able to stream there anymore because we're just too cool. So anyway.
Well, no, actually, we're not cool enough. And that's
we're not cool enough.
Stop being
okay, so here we go. We got into character here, boys.
Okay.
Hi, we'd like you to smash that like button. Could you also follow us on our YouTube channel by clicking on notifications as well? So follow and whatever. Subscribe. That's the word I was looking for. Subscribe. There we go.
Fuck Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Facebook can bite us. And you know what? So can Twitter. It's not called X. And begin X Twitter rant.
Shane, you know, like with those sunglasses on, you look like the dude.
I look like the dude?
Yeah,
I'm not as cool. I'll go get my bathrobe. Hang on. Should I wear my Batman one or my Star Wars one? Or my Doctor Who
I think
one?
probably the Star Wars one. Yeah.
But yeah, hey, everyone, thank you all for coming by. We are hanging out. We'd like to do this every so often and drink beer and talk crap. So there you go. We're not hiding anything except for this whole weird Facebook garbage. So anyway, we are currently drinking beer today, and Alan and I will start with our beer, which we've had hanging on to for I don't know how long. It is, where is it? The Wolves IPA. It is from Driftwood Brewing, and we've had this thing in our fridges since December.
Yeah. This is actually called Raised by Wolves.
Raised by Wolves. Sorry. I think it's the sunglasses.
Yeah.
All right, I'm pouring mine up.
What's the tin again, Alan?
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see that art. Yeah, Driftwood always have quality art, don't they?
Yes, they do. Now, I find it interesting that Driftwood, who makes, Fat Tug, which is an IPA, also makes this, which is an IPA. They don't advertise that there's a difference between them, which I find kind of interesting. It's not like one's a West Coast IPA and one's an East Coast IPA or anything like that.
But Raised by Wolves has been around for a long time.
It's part of their regular run as well as Fat Tug.
So why don't you explain to us how is it nuanced and different from Fat Tug?
That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Well, I'll tell you, because I bought a 4-pack of this and I've already had the other 3. This one has sort of more of a malty profile than Fat Tug. And I'm kind of wondering if I compare the labels a bit. I do have a Fat Tug and the Raised by Wolves side by side. Water, barley, hops, yeast, unfiltered. Okay, so there's no difference in the ingredients. Probably a difference in how it's brewed. The alcohol content is exactly the same, 7%. It is not discernible on the cans how they are different. However, I have not done a side-by-side taste test, but from memory, I would say this has more hop tang to it than the Raised by Wolves.
Hop tang.
Hop tang.
Tang.
Hop tang. The Raised by Wolf has just a tinge of maltiness to it.
Does it say anything about the international beer units?
That's a good question. It should. So it's born of equinox hops and raised under the influence of Saccharomyces trois. You know how to say that, don't you, Locke?
Probably, but I'm not going to ask you to spell it for me.
Saccharomyces trois. This beast has been developed a taste for mango, citrus, and melon, with a nose to match hear the call. So I guess that's the difference. This has the Saccharomyces Troy, or Trois, which I don't even know what that is. Over to our beer expert, Locke, who maybe would know.
I'm assuming that's a type of hop. No.
To the internet, Shane.
To the internet. I will right now. Hang on. I switched my reading glasses for sunglasses.
I feel like pouring my drink, so I will.
Yes, do it.
Explaining that I have brought with me treats from up north. This I have not seen in Toronto yet, but it is on tap at the Sawdust City tap room in Gravenhurst. And what it is a mushroom porter.
Oh,
mushroom porter.
Mushrooms and well, they put oysters in porters or stouts. So what
that sounds so good.
Right. So what kind of mushrooms are in? Cremini and lion's mane. So lion's mane thought to be generally good for you. Your brain, I think, is supposed to be the general proposition. People put powdered lion's mane in coffee, I'm told. Mm-hmm. And so presumably we're talking about powdered versions of these mushrooms were mixed in with this porter, which otherwise features, well, it's 30 international beer units, and it is, what goes in this?
By the way, I did look up that hop, the Equinaut, pronounced Equinaut. Basically, the hop variety's name was changed due to it used to be called Equinox, which I was familiar with, but last year, Equinox Brewing Company had a legal dispute, a trademark dispute with them. So there you go. They changed the name.
Okay, interesting to know. All right, so this is what we have to say about the mushroom porter. Aaron Spinney was our first head brewer when we opened in 2014, brewing here for 3 years before he moved on to form Merit Brewing. So it's only fitting that Spinney is back to collaborate with one of our brewers, John Park, on the first beer in our ex-brewers series, a porter infused with locally grown mushrooms. It's malt forward with hints of chocolate and umami. Okay. The unique beer showcases everything Spinney and Sawdust are known for: quality with experimentation and excitement. Okay. Yeah, a nice statement. It's got barley and oats. So barley, oats, mushrooms, that's the ingredients list. Presumably somewhere in there is yeast. So let's get things underway here.
Whoa! That sounded amazing.
Yes, I might have dropped that one before I. Anyway.
I'm really interested to know if the presence of mushrooms alters the flavor at all.
Well, okay, I would argue that it does. And I originally had this beer fresh on tap at the Sawdust City Brewery in Gravenhurst. And here's what hit me straight out of the gate is that what this is a dry porter. It is, you know me and sweet. I'm not wild about it in beer.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was excited by the idea that this was a mushroom porter because straight away I'm thinking, okay, I'm not going to get hints of Black Forest cake here. this is going to be dry as fuck. And absolutely that is what got delivered. It's a very dry porter with strong mouthfeel. Clocks in roughly, what does it actually say here? Yeah, 4.8%. So I would sort of say it's pretty directly competing with your Guinness kind of an Irish stout.
Right.
Yeah, the mouthfeel is amazing. Sort of a little bit grippy. It's dense without being sugary, sweet, or any of that. It is something that would pair well with oysters. So if oysters and stout, as Disraeli used to have for lunch, is something that you find appealing as a kind of lunch, this would fit that bill. Not that you would probably find fresh oysters in Gravenhurst, but anyway, I digress. This is very tasty, very dry, and even in the heat dome, which we are apparently experiencing in Ontario right now, it's still not something that's off-putting because of how dry it is.
Right. So now I may have misunderstood, but when you were listing off, when you were reading off the tin, I thought you said that it had like umami flavors.
Yes, and I'm not really sure what it means by that, except that savory rather than sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so is there sort of like a saltiness to it?
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'd go all the way. It's not like gose-ish. There's nothing salty about it.
Right.
And if I'm being honest, I really sort of don't know what they mean about umami. I think they're just looking for a flavor that they could use other than mushroom flavored.
Right. Okay. Well, when I think of umami, like say sometimes I order when I order Thai food, I'll get like drunken noodles. And that's supposedly very strong umami flavor. So that's what I was kind of intrigued by that because I love umami. Yeah. So getting back to Shane's and my beer, the Raised by Wolves. So I've looked up the IBU rating for both Fat Tug and Raised by Wolves. Fat Tug is about 100. The Raised by Wolves is about 90.
Okay.
So it's a little bit less bitter than the Fat Tug, not by much.
Not by much.
I mean, it's a good beer. I like it. But I think between the two, I'd go for the Fat Tug.
Is it the same alcohol volume?
Is it the same what?
Is it the same alcohol?
ABV?
7% for both.
Okay. Yeah, traditionally, I remember both from, back around the 2012 sort of era. At least I feel like that's right. And I think I always kind of found myself thinking that Fat Tug was a better drink. But
yeah. But I mean, you have to have a really trained tongue to be able to spot the difference. And my tongue is
my trained tongue?
Oh, no.
I mean, anything bigger than a handful and you're risking a sprained tongue. Sorry, I was thinking about the whole idea about the beer flavoring, and then suddenly just my brain locked on to that. What is that about a trained tongue? Beer? Who gives a damn about beer? I want to know more about this tongue training that he's talking about. It must be.
I have these little weights and everything like that.
Why? All right, 2 minutes. 2 minutes to walk it off, or to tongue it off, or whatever. Oh my god, this just evolved.
This is why we can't stream on Facebook anymore.
Yeah, exactly. By the way, did I mention that if you have not liked our Facebook page, we would love you forever if you did, or we'll hunt you down and have you killed.
This is our drive to get 58 people to like our Facebook page by the end of the show.
We only have 43 now. Yeah, we need 10 more. We'll do a special live stream just as a Facebook follower, like
an exclusive
whatever.
one.
Yeah, exactly.
Zane will show off his nipples.
I will take out my nipples and show you that I have no underarm hair anymore. It's awesome. Anyway, back to real things. So, boys, we've talked about beer. We enjoy the beer. What else is going on in the world? What things should we be weighing in on? Because our opinions are important, they are epic, and they must be heard. We need to make our show so incredibly controversial that people will be sharing it all over the place, because we'll stick our foots in our butts and then stick them into our mouths after that. So let's talk about baseball.
Goal last. Oilers. Fuck baseball. That third goal by the Oilers last night was fucking beautiful. No.
So, Alan, did you watch the game?
I did not. I was a coach of a baseball team, and we had a game. Basically a wild card game last night to get into the playoffs. We won, unfortunately. No, I take that back. I as a Canucks fan, I can't cheer for Edmonton this year. Sorry, the rest of Canada. I can't do it. Go Florida.
You can't do it.
I can't do it. Go Florida. Sorry, Locke.
Well, because the rest of the...
Get real internet.
Uh-oh, is he frozen?
It's happening. It's happening again. Not again.
What'd you say, Locke? Locke? Hello?
Bueller.
Eventually you're going to have dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour?
You see, this is what happens. This is why we're being punished by...
yeah.
We've moved criminal trials online to experience this kind of bullshit in every circumstance of life now. Wonderful, eh?
I would like to now put in my plea.
The criminal, the streaming criminal proceedings can use Facebook.
I rest my case. I can assure you, Judge, I'm not a cat. So basically what you're saying, Locke, is that the entire justice system is about to collapse because of its reliance on video-based, internet-based video, and they're not able to reliably use it properly because they don't know what the internet really needs to do video, etc., and that we're going to have some sort of injustice happening because of the video.
I think what I'm saying is that digital technology sucks, and it continues to suck long into 2024, and it will continue to suck for the foreseeable future because the economics of providing it are such that all of these ventures that were sexy startups back, 20 years ago, are now realizing that they operate essentially a bus service or something close to being, effectively a utility, and no profits in it, really. If you decide to go digital as a society, than the idea that this is in any way a discretionary thing that people can, compete in the market over. It sort of dies, and what you're left with is the squalid job providing shitty service for a shitty public that resent every second of the experience of using it. And that is where we are now.
And all it's going to take is one major solar flare to knock it all out, and then the Amish are going to take over the world.
Your brother's machine is frozen.
I'm not frozen.
What is this?
I just realized had not mentioned that I was chatting to people in the MagViz chat at D-Dial system, and they're reviewing our show as we speak.
Oh, good.
Make sure people seem to really dislike the fact that we're talking about baseball. We should just be really on about hockey and all those kinds of things. So,
well, I talk about baseball because I'm coaching a baseball team, like a high school level baseball team.
That's kind of a legitimate reason.
Yeah. All right.
Look.
Okay. Well, this is what I mean. Defend yourself. Defend yourself against the onslaught of the internet horde.
And listen, baseball. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge hockey fan, but baseball is way more interesting than hockey. Baseball is the only sport, well, aside from the pitch clock, which is a new thing, that has no time limits assigned to it. Baseball is the only sport where the defense is the one that has the possession of the ball.
Right.
And there's more rules in baseball. It's more complicated than in any other sport. In every other sport, you just go back and forth, up and down the ice or up and down the field or whatever.
Right.
Baseball is just so much more.
Is more what?
I don't know. I'm at a loss for words, and I feel like I'm going to lose this battle in Canada. So, but don't get me wrong, I love hockey. But between the two, if I had to pick one or the other, I'm going baseball.
So, well, it's funny you say that because I have actually told people before that if I were to choose watching of a particular sport on television where I had to watch the game from beginning to end, it would be a baseball game. It definitely would not be, that hockey loving Locke who just left out of complete and utter.
I think he was offended. I don't think it was.
So that's what Locke does when he's offended. He's like, you know what? You just said I didn't like baseball at all.
Screw you! I'm out of here.
Actually, what happened was my internet was offended.
The internet definitely is.
It's the solar flares.
Yeah,
it's going to take everything down, and the Amish are going to inherit the earth.
The Amish?
Yeah.
But, Locke, people will come, Locke. They'll come to Iowa for reasons they can't even fathom. They'll turn up your driveway, not knowing for sure why they're doing it. They'll arrive at your door as innocent as children, longing for the past. Of course, we won't mind if you look around, you'll say. It's only $20 per person. They'll pass over the money without even thinking about it, for it is money they have and peace they lack. And they'll walk out to the bleachers sit in shirt sleeves on a perfect afternoon. They'll find that they have reserved seats somewhere along one of the baselines where they sat when they were children and cheered their heroes. And they'll watch the game, and it'll be as if they had dipped themselves in magic waters. The memories will be so thick, they'll have to brush them away from their faces. People will come, Locke. The one constant through all the years, Locke, has been baseball. Canada has rolled by like an army of steamrollers. It has been erased like a blackboard, rebuilt and erased again. But baseball has marked the time. This field, this game, this live stream, it's part of our past, Locke. It reminds us of all that was once good and could be again. Oh, people will come, Locke. People will most definitely come.
Sorry, what are you reading?
It is a quote from the film Field of Dreams, where Darth Vader basically talks about how baseball is the constant sport of the universe. So yeah, but there you go.
Okay. Do any of us gathered assembled here presently understand cricket?
Understand what?
Cricket.
No, I tried watching it. I tried watching it. I don't get it at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I've watched plenty of it. I still don't understand it. Upon cricket was premised what we now call baseball, but yeah, the original game is something that I'm still kind of mystified by. Like I kind of don't understand how it works, what the rules are.
Okay, so last season, I coached with a guy who plays cricket. And I said to him, like, I don't get it. He plays it, and he's like, I don't get it either.
And I gather that the rules of cricket change quite often. Is this right? Have I read this right?
A little like that.
Like change, like officially change, or do they change depending on what point in the game you're in? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
No.
An excellent question.
I have nothing to say to that. Tongue exercises.
Well, I mean, basically, cricket is a sport that's been around for such a long time that it's basically what happens to any sport or set of rules. They become far more complex, and so if you hit the ball and burp and fart within the next 10 seconds, you get extra, I don't know, loops around the thing.
Loops around the thing.
Well, I mean, that's the problem is that honestly, we should watch more cricket in this country. I believe so. And lacrosse, for that matter. But
lacrosse is Canada's national sport.
Yes.
Understand that? Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you know the story behind it?
I do not, but please educate me.
It was the attack on Fort George, where the native group, I think it was the Ojibwa, but I would have to double check that. It was anyway. What they were doing was they were playing a ball game of some description outside the fort, and everybody became on the walls of the fort quite entertained watching the game and fly out into the woods, and they'd go and retrieve it. And then on one occasion, the ball flew into the fort. And so they wanted to know if they could retrieve the ball. And so they let them in so that they could retrieve the ball. And the native band stormed in and slaughtered everyone. And on the basis of that is now our national sport.
Okay. Wow. That's interesting.
Nothing like
Canadians
a good set of murders to make a sport far more attractive.
Yeah. Huh.
I mean,
I guess
honestly,
the point being violent sporting.
Well, I mean, honestly, there's, as I was saying before, like baseball for some reason is just one of those sports that I could watch from beginning to end without too much of a concern about, if it's taking too long or this or that.
I'm watching Shane slow motion drink his beer, and it's awesome.
What?
Because he's got internet lag.
I'm lagging over there. Okay. Beer is good.
So I have to say, Shane, I'm a little bit surprised that you would say baseball. Like I thought for sure it would be football.
Well, let's be very clear. CFL, football.
Okay.
However, I'm speaking from the perspective of if you had to choose one sport that was your sport, and you could watch other stuff, but ultimately that's the main thing you would watch, I think it would be baseball. I mean, I enjoy watching CFL games. I enjoy watching baseball games. I just learned that because by the way, raise a glass to Kiefer Sutherland's dad, Donald, who passed away yesterday.
Donald Sutherland is no longer with.
And he was a hardcore Expos fan. Mm-hmm. There was a little thing from some news agency down in the States that said he had actually flown down to the States several times just to watch a Expos series, and he spent a lot of money doing it. Back in the 70s and 80s.
On Blue Jays broadcast, catch Geddy Lee sitting behind home plate.
Oh, really? Yeah. So, I mean, that's the thing, right? Is that I've heard many times about how people like to buy season tickets for something. They'll buy tickets for a sport of some kind. And I would probably buy season tickets to a local baseball team. Like we have the Canadians here in Vancouver. I've gone to a few of their games. Nothing too recent though, but I have thought of getting season tickets to go and watch them. But a lot of their games during the day, which kind of interferes with your work schedule and stuff like that. So that's a bit of a problem. But then, of course, you have the CFL team here in town, the soccer team. Now, that's actually, the other football team. I've never really, I enjoy soccer, I guess, to play it, but I couldn't watch a full game, I don't think. Although I will point out that I have been watching I've been slowly going through the Wrexham series that the documentary series that.
Oh yeah.
It's on Netflix, I think. But I've actually been going through that, and I have to say that it is a very different perspective of that whole ecosystem of sports in a different country, and you get kind of a different perspective. So I have a lot more respect for soccer because we have the Whitecaps here in Vancouver, and I don't think I've seen any games of them at all. So I don't know. I guess it's just not my sport. But again, baseball, I don't know. There's just something like Julian, friend of the show, does comment quite a bit on the importance of hockey, where there's high speed impacts and excitement in this, and he thinks that baseball is too slow. Where I find I kind of like the slowness. Like there's every inning has a very set sort of order of operations, as it were. But the thing is that it does start kind of slow, the game itself, because then you get pitchers that get tired and another pitcher comes in, usually 7th, 8th inning. And that's where you have all the other players who are also tired that suddenly are having to really ramp up because there's a new fresh pitcher out there. But again, I don't know. I mean, there's something about that slowness that makes the game exciting.
I'm much fonder of playing baseball than I am of watching it.
That too. I would agree.
I'm actually not a bad baseball player. I'm not necessarily somebody that would watch a game unless my nephew was playing, which sometimes happens. So,
yeah, baseball's hard, and the slowness. Baseball is kind of like a game of chess, and you really have to know what all the moves are and what all the options are available to a player to understand why it's at the pace that it's at. It's not a simple matter of the pitcher is just throwing the ball. The pitcher is trying to throw the ball in a place to make the batter swing, but not be able to hit it. And that is very complex. very complicated. Now, MLB has been trying things to get it to speed up. They've introduced the pitch clock, which means that pitcher between pitches only has 15 seconds to actually deliver the next pitch. I don't know if I really like it. I mean, I guess it's fine. I was hoping it would get to the point where everything just became where just everybody adopted it and the clock just became completely it didn't matter, right? We're not there yet quite. They have also instituted that when you bring in a reliever, they have to face 3 batters at minimum. Yes, Julian makes a comment here that if Jim wants to, yes, baseball is not really a sport. It's a game. It's a pastime. It's not a sport. So pitchers have to face at least 3 batters, or they can start a clean inning. So they're trying different things like this. I don't know if it's really saved all that much time. I think it's just made the game a little bit more complicated than it needs to be, but that's my input.
Well, I guess.
The best thing that's happened this season is that Angel Hernandez retired. If you guys don't know who that is, he was a baseball umpire and had been for, I don't know, 25 years, something like that. And he was awful. He was hated universally around the league for screwing up call after call after call. Okay. And MLB actually recognized that he was awful, which is why they never put him in the World Series. And he actually took MLB to court for suing them for discrimination because he's Cuban. Something. And they said he wasn't allowed to do the World Series because he was Cuban. And they were like, well, no, it's because you suck. And then,
why didn't they just fire the guy?
Probably something to do with the union, or he had like some sort of incriminating photos of the commissioner of baseball or something. I don't know. But anyway,
well, we should all have those released. I mean, that I can't imagine those being not awesome. So
a few weeks ago, suddenly Angel Hernandez just announced out of the blue, mid-season, I'm retiring. So I'm kind of thinking he was encouraged to retire.
Mm-hmm. How old is he? Or is he? Sorry. How old was he?
He's probably close to retirement age.
So
look up Angel Hernandez.
Angel Hernandez.
Find out how old he is.
I would have. So he basically is a terrible.
He was horrible.
What was he bad at?
Everything. Like seriously.
He's 60. He's 62.
62. Okay, so I mean he's like pretty much retirement age. But literally he would call balls that were clearly should be called balls. Pitches that were clearly balls. He would call them strikes. Or something that's like in the middle of the strike zone, he would call it a ball. Sometimes. There was one time, and this was earlier this season. He was a third base umpire in a Phillies game. And one of their batters went to check their swing, which means they didn't swing all the way through the ball. They just kind of did it part way and then pulled it back. And it should have been called a ball. And Angel Hernandez says, nope, you went all the way around. And you show the video replay. The guy did not go all the way around. So the batter lost it on him and went out and screamed at him, and then the batter got ejected from the game. All because of this screw up.
So the reason he was continually employed was great TV?
That is not a terrible. That's not a terrible argument, because, I mean, you look at any sort of entertainment based industry, and they don't shy away. They shy away from certain things, but I think ultimately they have the entertainment industry in general. I mean, also think about remember that this is going back at least a decade, that the Chinese guy or Japanese guy who went on the like one of those talent shows, like America's Got Talent or whatever, and
or the
he was terrible. It was shabang me, shabang, doing that. And normally, that kind of performance would be like, well, you suck, get out of here. Yeah. But for some reason, just because he enjoyed himself so much and had such a passion for doing that stuff, that the judges or whatever said, you're terrible, but we're gonna pass you through to the next level or whatever, because you are entertaining. Ratings. So yeah, exactly. And you have all of that kind of stuff happening in all kinds of entertainment industry stuff. So I don't know. I don't see them not doing that ever, or never not doing it. Like they are, it's a ratings thing. People want to watch the slow motion car crash or the slow motion person, getting hit in getting hit in the groin with a football. They want to see that stuff. And that's kind of awesome in a weird way, but kind of horrible in another way.
I'd say it's more horrible than awesome. But
well, I mean, okay, I
watch NASCAR
thinking of this
car crashes, right?
Yeah, well, exactly that too. I like to watch Formula One because I like to watch people get cut in half.
I want to see people running around with invisible fire on them.
Invisible fire. That's true.
There was a guy.
I just read that like a few days ago, like about how because they use. Well, it's like alcohol, because alcohol burns
so
invisibly.
Intense that you couldn't see.
Yeah,
but you got severely burned.
Oh, exactly, and I guess it's because of the formulation of the alcohol, the purity of the alcohol. I don't know exactly what it is. It's not gasoline. It's just a different fuel, but
it's what
but yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Bartender says this is the strongest stuff they have. Give it more gas.
We blew the fuel pump. It'll take me a month to fix it or to repair it.
Rebuild it.
Yeah. I know. That's okay. I found this the other day. Okay. This is something I want to play on the show because it's just incredibly ridiculous. Because apparently the what is it? Hang on, I gotta find it here. William Shatner has taken up the mantle of protecting Pacific salmon.
Nice.
So I'm going to play this because we should. It'll make sense in a second.
Did you say Pacific salmon?
In the salmon farming. So just give me a sec here. We will bring this up, and hopefully it'll have sound, and everything will be awesome. You can hear
it? For almost a century, I've been a kind, decent Canadian. It's the Canadian way. But when I see what open net salmon farming is doing to the environment and wildlife, I just can't be Canadian about it any longer. So, repeat after me. F off! Open net pen salmon farms! You're those salmon farms are up our wild salmon population. It's a state on our nation. Now you have a go.
Get sideways, you open net.
Yes!
Get bent, you sacks.
Ooh! There you got it, baby.
Open pen farms should really reconsider their practices.
What the Kirk McLean? Come on, man, you're a hockey player.
Sorry, your unnatural practices suck.
That's great. Well, that sounded mean as hell, I think. Hear that, f***ers? Yeah, f***ing go Canada!
So that dropped, I think, yesterday or the day before.
Nice.
But I got to say that I've never really thought about the open pen salmon fishing or salmon farms. I don't like them now.
I had questions about whether they were a problem, and I think I would still, as somebody who drills down on subjects, I would want to explore further as to exactly how all of that works. But here's the thing. Everything about that message I fucking approve, which is to say that thank you, Bill. Thank you for all that you have done. Because if you're not already an upper member of the Order of Canada, on the basis of that message, I think you well fucking ought to be.
Well, I mean, this is the thing, right? Is that those kinds of messages are the things that people need to, or people respond to. So just like we were saying before about how in bizarre entertainment-based weirdness, the fact that you have like William Shatner and Kirk, what's his name? McLean? Not Kirk McLean.
Kirk McLean. Which is interestingly because he was known as Captain Kirk.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, back in the Canucks days, that was his nickname, was Captain Kirk.
Nice. That is absolutely amazing.
So Julian's made a comment here.
Oh. I thought you said Pacific Center.
No, that's Jan.
No. Captain Kirk has lost it. Well,
I don't know if
he's
means
93, isn't he?
Kirk McLean. Who do you mean, Julian? Or both of them?
Yeah, well, Shatner is, he's 93 this year. So he just celebrated his birthday. And he, I mean, when you're 93, could you think...
the fuck you want.
Exactly. I mean, any 93-year-old could be like, I'm going to piss on the floor. Dad, don't piss on the floor. Well, fuck it. I don't care anymore.
I fought in a war.
I fought in a war. I had to eat jelly
Klingon
beans that
war,
were
but
filled
I fought
with
in a war.
strychnine. Yeah, exactly. So, I now am not a fan. I am a supporter of open net salmon, open net pens being a bad idea, especially when you're introducing fish from the other side of the planet into another ecosystem. But
So I don't know the full story here. Like, what are who's running these open net pens, and like who set them up? Was it a Canadian?
I'm going to say Mr. Burns from Springfield
business venture, or is this something that we've allowed into our?
From what I understand, and I'm probably getting this wrong, but essentially, open pen farming, open net penned salmon farming has been around for some time in BC waters, and I gather that there is an extension that's coming up to allow it further, because there's some legislation thing going around that.
What's the situation? Okay, consider the Stewart Islands. The Stewart Islands, presumably that's America's coastal waters. So, what's the status of open pen salmon farming there?
I don't know. The real question here, the real issue, is that if you take a bunch of fish, stick them in a small area, they will be susceptible to disease. They'll be susceptible to things that normal fish running around out in the ocean aren't as likely to catch or to whatever. But the thing is that once you do that in a system that is allowing the water to transfer in and out of said enclosure, that's where it can spread to the wild populations.
Of
course, there's also been escape
the entire salmon population.
Exactly. So, and this is the big deal. Now, on land, salmon farming, I think, is a good idea because the fish are in tanks. They're not going to go anywhere.
It's not going to fuck up the rest of an ecosystem.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it is. It's just one of those things. Here you go. Salmon farming is harmful, just like all farming. Well, that is very true. All farming is terrible. We should all learn to eat muck, drink beer. No. That's about it.
To eat each other.
We should just eat each other. Let's just go straight to cannibalism.
I think what they're saying is industrialized farming.
Oh yeah, industrialized farming is never a good idea.
And to the degree that you're farming rather than like normally anything revolving around fish would be a fishery, but the simple fact of the matter is we fuck the ocean so goddamn badly.
Yeah, it was also the other thing too that a bunch of salmon running around inside of a pen are still going to the bathroom, all that kind of stuff. It rests on the seabed below the pens. When there are too many people to feed on this planet, it all becomes harmful. Yeah, well, we have already too many people already of some people.
Yeah.
I've always said my biggest concern about the universe is not cancer, it's not war, it is overpopulation. Because overpopulation leads to the other two things, and we all end up running around in large hordes of zombies trying to eat the living.
Which is why we need to develop starships and start terraforming Mars and Uranus.
That'll never get old. That's always funny.
Oh, right.
Well, yeah. I mean, this is the reality: is that we have to. I mean, eventually. I mean, not anytime soon, I don't think, but eventually we will leave this planet. Because we will need to if we want to survive as a species. Now, I'm looking far into the future. So, in theory, as long as we don't pollute ourselves out of existence, the planet has sort of a maximum shelf life of about 600 million years. We're never going to give a shit about that. Our podcast will live longer than that. But the reality is that this planet will basically age out and the sun will start to die and it will destroy us or eat us up or burn us up or whatever it wants to do. So all of the things we're saving today, save the whales, save the sperm, save the whatever.
What?
We have a declining sperm population or sperm counts or something. Actually,
sorry, I got us. I got us covered.
Did you see that recently there have been two stories that have come out in the last month or so about microplastics first in the testicles and microplastics being found in the penis tissue? So apparently our junk has got junk in it. So,
How?
Sorry, I just out of order here. That SpaceX already underway. Yes, SpaceX will save us all. And Fukushima doesn't help either. I'm not sure how that I'm not sure how it relates to overpopulation and the death of our species. Yeah, Fukushima is no joke. They're still, not living near the center of that all. But anyway, basically, yeah. So apparently, our penises have plastic in them, and I wish that they made us larger and more firm. At the right time.
How do we have microplastics in our junk?
How to get there? Well, actually, to be honest, we probably have microplastics everywhere in our body. But I gather that there was some research going on that's looking into the declining sperm availability. So basically, as we continue as a species, the males of our particular species have lower sperm counts that have been dropping since the 60s. And they want to know why. And one of the discoveries is that we have microplastics in our testicles and our junk. Is that important? Probably. Does it really mean that our junk is infested with plastic and nowhere else? No, of course not. We probably have plastic in our brains for all we know. Julian has a very important point. Save the gay whales. But yeah, I mean, this is the thing, right? We've got all of this stuff that we encounter day in and day out. I mean, this set of sunglasses has plastic in it. This is nylon rope here on my keychain, which is made of plastic. I mean, half of my desk is made of plastic. So
this
I don't know why it's
this glass here probably
made of plastic. But my point is that we've had plastic in our environment for such a long time, and there's I've been following very loosely the Ocean Project, or whatever they're called, where they have these two boats dragging a large sort of netting system to take plastic out of the ocean out in the middle of nowhere. But they've also have set up a number of buoy systems that capture garbage and plastic essentially coming down rivers and streams. So it does not surprise me that we have plastic everywhere. So, and I know that because of my situation, that conversation has happened. I have asked about that, and causes of different types of cancer. Is it related to plastic or whatever? And they were like, well, we don't know, but we're not ruling it out. So, these kinds of things. So at the end of the day, the planet will burn up as our sun expands beyond our current orbit, and it won't really matter. And hopefully we can take those microplastics out into space and colonize other planets and pollute them with plastic. So why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This beer is good. I'm out of beer.
So like us on Facebook, otherwise you'll never see us there again.
Yes, quite seriously.
How many? What's our subscriber count up to now? As of this show, I mean, I imagine we've hit 100 now, but
in Facebook land,
as of right
now, anyone watching this who even gives half of a shit, we can no longer live stream to Facebook. The reason being is that as of June 10th of this year, Facebook changed the rules about live streaming to a Facebook page. I didn't notice. I don't really care. But ultimately, the solution is
stop using Facebook.
Is one thing. Stop using Facebook for one thing, because Locke, by the way, does not use Facebook. But the thing is that in order for us to live stream, we have to have 100 or more followers to our Facebook page. So if you would be so kind, I would like you to do one thing. I would like you to go to our Facebook page and follow it. But then I want you to turn around and tell everyone you know to follow our Facebook page. Don't tell them why. Don't give them a need for knowledge. Just tell them, you know what? It would be a great favor if you could go and follow, not like, follow our Facebook page. We only stream once a week. So it's not going to pollute your feed of us talking and doing things a million times over. So that's what I ask a favor. Can you go live? Can you go to our Facebook page, and can you follow said page? That's all I want. It's not for anything other than we would just want to continue live streaming to Facebook because that's where my mom watches the show. I don't know if she would survive.
Mom can't watch the show.
Yeah. And by the way, what? There's said to be an island of plastic trash floating in the ocean. Yeah, well, I gather that's true. Plastic is inert. We'd all be dead if it was harmful. Now, I'm going to call you bullshit on that. Julian, you're wrong. And by the way, Locke, you do not use D-Dial either. You're a bad man, and I suggest you sign up immediately. Go to magviz.ca. That's magviz.ca and make an account.
And I need to use it too because I keep saying I'm going to do it and I never do it because I'm busy and everything. But I need to do it. I need to get on.
Exactly, it's a fun place to be. I mean, granted, I'm not there a lot, but when I am there, I do enjoy hanging out there and saying hello to the people in there.
You know, look if it's.
I gotta get my '80s on here and get on.
I agree.
We've got 80s geopolitics. We've got 80s fashion. We've got 80s music. We even now have 80s Oilers.
He says that he also has
80s bulletin boards. Yeah.
I will get up my Procom. I'll load up my Procom. I'm going to do everything by Kermit or Z modem.
Z modem, of course.
You gotta use Z modem.
Nice.
I mean, you gotta, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what the.
I will point out that one of the coolest features of MagViz is that you can set it to the baud rating that you want. So if you want to watch it as if it classic
dungeons,
to the classic dungeons,
classic
sure,
classic user dungeons like old text based bulletin board games.
Actually, funny you mentioned that. He does actually have some. Now, he only has one, Uno, I believe, and there's a couple of others. But the big thing is that there used to be things like Trade Wars. There used to be, which was just like a space game.
Yeah,
my favorite. That thing was the bomb.
That was my favorite game. So I do recommend that if you James could make that happen.
I don't remember how to play it. I don't remember much.
Oh, I have no memory of it at all.
But I remember it was amazing.
Exactly. So, Trader is still out there and popular. Well, make it happen on MagViz, man. You gotta make it, because if I'm there and there's no one else there, I want to play a game. That's what I want to do.
I want it on there by yourself.
Week. That's right. So I highly recommend if you all go to MagViz, magviz.ca, and check it out, because there are some very cool people there. Beavis is still very popular and still very active. This is very true. So anyway, I'm out of beer. Do we want to keep going, boys? Or are you tired? Need to go to sleep?
We're old now. I gotta go take my pills.
Gotta take my pills, because if I don't, I won't be able to do things.
I have to eat my prune mush. Otherwise, I'm not going to be able to poop for a week.
I'm pleased to say that I spent my 50th birthday seeing a band that I liked, and then going to the after party, hosted by the bartender with the band in attendance. And not only one of the band members had the same birthday as me, but the bartender's dog as well.
Oh. Well, hey, Locke.
We played something that you need to know about. Loaded Jenga. So a normal Jenga kit? Little wooden blocks. Yeah. What you do is you write on each of the blocks drinking game challenges.
I'm intrigued. Cool.
That is very cool.
Locke, I need to ask you, because last time we
Nope.
were live, which was a little while ago,
Hmm?
I told you about a movie, and I said that you should watch it. It was Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Did you ever watch it?
I have not yet. I will get on that project as soon as I join Meg.
I want to hear your thoughts on it.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Have you seen Jim Henson Idea Man yet? Recent documentary on Jim Henson?
No.
I have not seen it yet, actually. That's a good point.
Jim Henson's The Storyteller. Did you see that back in the 80s?
I probably did.
Because
Is it on Disney Plus?
Because it might be, but I missed it. And when I heard about it on the new Jim Henson documentary, I chased it down, and wow, masterpiece area. Like this is a high watermark of Western culture in the 80s, comparable to The Black Cauldron, comparable to Dragon's Lair, comparable to Ian Livingstone and Steve Jackson's collaboration with illustrator Ian McCaig. It is that kind of awesome. Check it, man.
All right, we'll do.
Cool.
All
right, boys. Thank you all for watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget, go to our Facebook page. Just follow us. You don't have to come back. But do follow us and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do stream here all the time. Facebook a little more unreliable apparently, but we also
sucks.
Yes.
Yeah, well that too. Facebook does blow.
Just like Twitter. No, I'm not calling it
that. We're not calling it X. But yeah, we just do this for fun. And come hang out, drink beer with us. That's kind of the goal. And if you don't, I really am sad that you don't drink beer.
Yeah, we feel sorry for you.
Yeah, exactly. But thank you everyone thank you everyone for watching, and we will see you guys next week. We normally stream on Fridays and sometimes Saturdays. You never know, because schedules are a thing. All right, thank you everybody, and I will see you next week. And of course, I will sign off with our
aye and goodbye.
Aye and goodbye.